Hello, everyone. It is great to see you. Today, we're actually going to another part of the United States, a very, very special state, a place of hidden and complex historical sites, long and rich histories, and just like you may know, um, various indigenous nation migrations, stories about harsh frontier lives, significant parts of the Cold War, and various ancient geological forces. We are going to North Dakota. Okay, so North Dakota is a state in the midwestern part of the northern coastal border of the United States. Very beautiful state. It reminds me kind of the a lot of the Midwest agricultural states, but all the way up in the north. So very interesting climate as well. And this place is very, very famous for very traditional Native American sites and also immigration histories, the Great Plains, and various other national parks and rivers that you can visit. You will be going into a lot more detail than I don't think the thing that I love about this content in particular is that it provides us the opportunity to look into things in way more depth than we would be able to if we were like just studying this in a general US history class, because we're not able to focus on a particular place. We're not able to talk about its relation to current day. What kind of like is it a museum now? Is it a place where people can go to enjoy the landscapes? And so being able to bring that to you is something that I'm very, very grateful about. But going back, let's look at, first of all, the Knife River Indian Villages National Historical Site. Okay, this place is located in the Knife River. The Knife River, as you can see here, is right across here. I love the name Knife River. It's just very, very cute. And in the Knife River, this place, the era that we're going to be focusing on in particular is 1200 CE, where tribes like the Hidosu, Mandan, and Arikara all lived here in near Stanton of North Dakota. Very beautiful place here. And yeah, let's look around a bit into the place here. I don't know if it's, we'll kind of walk there to the villages in particular. Very beautiful. Lots of huge plains here. Reminds me of like the images that you can see of like 1800s United States, for example. I believe it is, we have not arrived there yet. Let's go into the exact place here. I believe there is a current center here. We'll talk more about that. But yeah, long before the Europeans arrived, the Knife River area was home to a lot of societies in Mesoamerica. It had one of the most complex agricultural societies. Where's the Knife River? It's a huge river, really, that goes all the way from here throughout this whole area up to the Missouri River. So very, very beautiful. And this was actually home to a very huge civilization. There were mixed economies like corn, beans, squash, even sunflowers, and there was a permanent village life here. They were not nomadic people, but they were urbanized indigenous towns along the Missouri River and the Knife River. And so so this place was actually also based on a lot of thriving economies. They were trading fur, crafted goods, and other agricultural things that they created. They were trading this from the Great Lakes even. That's all the way... Oh, we have flipped that. They were trading it to the Great Lakes. So like right here, they were going all the way over here and even to the Pacific coast. And the earth lodges in particular that have been found here... Knife Village. Yeah, this is the Earth Lodge of the Indian villages, and they were circular homes that housed a lot of the Indian nations. These were dome-shaped, and they were built with timber frames and really thick earth coverings. And it was actually large enough to extend to about 10 to 20 people, large families. And it functioned as a living space, also as a workshop. The kind of inside kind of looked like this. So you have the otuka in here, the fireplace, and then the cash pit, the beds, the shrine, because they had their own religion as well. And the Hidasta and Mandan villages were kind of the Silk Roads of the North. They were hosting lots of massive trade fairs from goods from all over the world, with Spanish Mexico, British Canada, and even Alaska, that was at the time in the control of Russia. And so European trades goods came over to this area as well. They got things like glass and metal tools that were used in Europe. But these influences also had negative impacts sometimes, because it often destabilized village economies as well. And a famous figure that I think all know is Sakajiwa. And Sakajiwa is a Shoshone woman who's famous for guiding Lewis and Clark, and she was living among the Hidasta people, so along this area when she joined the expedition. And if you remember from one of our videos, sorry, where is this? I think when we were looking at Montana, even we have seen the place where Lewis actually engraved his name in one of the stones here. And so they were going all the way from here. And I believe it was Lewis. It could have been Clark. I'm sorry if that is mistaken. They were traveling across this northern era, and so they were able to meet here. Lewis and Clark actually during their 1804 to 5 expedition, they stayed during the Knife River during the winter. However, as you may know with Sakajiwa's story, smallpox epidemics came with the European colonists, and beginning in 1781, lots of people died. And for recurring decades, it really decimated the population. Also, pressure from other Indian tribes trying to expand, and also European American settlement continued to fracture and diminish these communities. And today you can see again along this Knife River the same kind of lodges. I believe it is kept at the moment. Knife River Indian villages. You can see these lodgings, and there is also a museum where they have reconstructed these earth lodges, and they have agricultural gardens and kind of indigenous interpretations that are offered as well. So very beautiful place that we could definitely visit if you are ever going to North Dakota. Okay, let's look at our second place. We're actually jumping ahead quite a bit and going to the 19th century. Let's look at the Fort Union Trading Post. The Fort Union Trading Post is located along the Missouri River. And we're looking at the era between 1828 and 1867. So Fort Union, I think we have actually looked at it in different parts of the world as well. But this was actually one of the most important parts. Is this? Yes, I believe this is the right place. The Fort Union Trading Association was a important fur trading post. It was not a military fort at first, but it was built by the American Fur Company, headed by John Jacob Astor. And John Jacob Astor is famous for being one of the first American millionaires. He was very, very rich. He had a flourishing company there, so yeah, if you Google it. Oh, wait. Fur company. Oh yeah, okay, my bad. I was thinking like he couldn't have been on the Titanic, right? But very rich man. And this trading dynamic at first served mostly the Assiniboine people, the Crow, Cree, and Ojibwe, and the Blackfeet tribes, various tribes that traded fur. And in the museum here, you can actually see things like this. They hunted wild animals for the fur. Tribes traded buffalo robes, furs, and horses, and in return, they got a lot of European goods, and this included things like glass beads, wools, guns, metals, and also things like alcohols. And this really had devastating consequences because they were not familiar with how alcohol should be consumed, what it was. Lots of accidents that occurred in this way. So, yeah, it tells us something about globalization, about trading, and different cultures mixing as well. So Port Union was really a place where lots of culture could blend. Dozens of languages are known to have been crowded here with French, English, those that were living in the Dakota with the Cree, Mandan Crow, and various other Indian tribe languages as well. And even things like marriages between European traders and indigenous women were actually created. It was called the Métis culture, and this was really important to the kind of mixed heritage society that it produced. And I will actually put this here, Métis. Yeah, and so traditionally, who is a Métis? Like this. And yeah, in terms of agriculture as well, here around this area, you can see various warehouses, like livestock pens, but eventually, as bison trade herds declined in the United States in its population, and more of the European colonists were pushing for westward expansion, the fort's importance faded, and eventually, it was abandoned by the U.S. military, and nearby they built the Fort Bufford. Right here. And so this is a significant military place that I believe is still operating. And yeah, Fort Union has been really painstakingly reconstructed at the time to preserve the history and interpretation of the various Native American populations as well. Okay, let's go into our next moment. We're actually going to the 1880s. We're going to the Theodore Roosevelt National Park. And this is located in western North Dakota, near a place called Medora. And yeah, let's get some of the images here. It's named after President Theodore Roosevelt, and he spent a lot of years here between 1883 to 1887. After the death of his wife and mother on the same day, I can't even imagine the pain that he must have went through. Roosevelt wanted to do something to kind of remake the harsh lands of the Dakota Badlands. He purchased the Maltese Cross Ranch that has become this place, and later established the Elkhorn Ranch. And so here he spent a lot of his time shaping his ideas about the presidency, the philosophy, a place where he meditated. Absolutely stunning place here. Like, I can't even say more about that. And later, when he became the conservation president, he established this as the national park and created other national parks, forests, and wildfire refuges as well. And the parks here preserves the Badlands, which is a unique geographical platform that looks like this. This is created with the erosion of sedimentary rocks, and later when ancient rivers are cutting through rock formations. And so lots of painted canyons, petrified forests, and prairie grasslands as well. And in terms of ecology, there are various animals, as you can see here, wild bison herds, horses, prairie dogs, and golden eagles that are here, kind of the Midwestern American animals that we know. And yeah, in Roosevelt times, the American bisons were actually in danger of becoming extinct, and so works like this were able to conserve their population. And beyond Roosevelt's narrative, this park sits on a ancestral land where, again, the people of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Lakota were living, and yeah, early ranchers and people who developed this place all had conflicts in who takes which land, and so even between European colonists, there seems to have been conflict as well. But the park is divided into the North Unit, the South Unit, and the Elkhorn Ranch Unit, with different hiking and wildlife views and lots of climate research that is being done here for its unique ecosystem. Okay, that's it for today. I hope that was fun to listen to, and that you stay curious and continue to learn about these things. Thank you so much for sharing this opportunity with me. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.